Good morning, ladies. I hope that you have had a great retreat. And all of us down in the valley are counting on you coming back and sharing with us all the joy that you have discovered up in Prescott. Hey, I asked the ladies who are putting on the retreat if I could have just a couple of minutes with you to share a few things about what's going on at Northridge. The Board of Elders would like your input. They have put together a strategic planning committee, and the role of that committee is to look at what Northridge is being called by God to do, and then to get input from the people of Northridge, people like yourselves, on how we can most effectively impact our community for Jesus Christ. And so one of the things that they've been coming up with is refining our vision. And the vision of Northridge, I hope you can see that, is to extend hope to all through Jesus Christ alone. You know, biblical hope is different than the kind of hope the world usually thinks of. The hope of the world is to cross our fingers or work really hard. But biblical hope is the certainty, the assurance of things that we know are coming. In fact, the one thing that hope is almost always talking about when it comes to the New Testament is the return of Christ for his church. Paul, writing to a young pastor, called it the blessed hope, because we know that Jesus Christ is coming back. And so the vision of the church is to extend hope to all through Jesus Christ alone. That Jesus Christ is the only one who gives us that hope. Well, once we catch that vision, that big vision, that aspirational vision for the future, then we come and narrow it down to, well, what's the mission of Northridge Community Church? What is it that God's calling us to do? And our mission is to do whatever it takes to turn people into fully engaged followers of Jesus Christ. And that's our challenge, is to do whatever it takes. Retreats, children's programs, young marrieds groups, whatever it is, how do we get people to be fully engaged followers of Christ? I've recently been reading a book with some guys in the church, and it's called Not a Fan. There's all kinds of people who would like to be fans of Jesus Christ. But Jesus wasn't looking for fans. He was looking for fully engaged followers. And so if that's what Christ was looking for, then we know that that's our job and our challenge at Northridge, is to do whatever it takes to turn people, all people that touch this church and touch us, to turn people into fully engaged followers of Jesus Christ. Now, how do you know if a person's a fully engaged follower? Well, the leadership team in the strategic planning group has said there's 5 pillars that we want to look at. I hope you can see these. They are prayer, outreach, worship, equipping, which is educating for service, and relationships. Those are the 5 things. If people are growing in these 5 things, they're growing in their ability, their not just their understanding, but their practice of prayer in their life. If they're growing in their ability to reach out to others, outreach. If they're growing in their understanding, their awareness of what it means, and then the practice of worship. If they're growing and they're equipped, they're educated to now serve, and they're going out and serving. And if they are connected with other believers in relationships, a person like that, we know, is a fully engaged follower of Jesus Christ. And so we are excited about that potential at Northridge. And what we are looking for you to do to help us is to do what we call a SWOT analysis. A SWOT analysis is where we're going to ask for your input on what you see as the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats that Northridge Community Church is facing. So what I would like you to do is, Sarah is going to pass out some cards for you. Each of you needs to take 4 cards, and on those cards, at the top of the first card, write the letter S, and then circle it. On your second card, write the letter W, and circle it. The third card, O. And then the final card, T. And what I'm going to do during this time is to just give you some prompting, some help on what each of these are. And then I'm going to ask the ladies to pause the tape and give you 5 minutes to fill out just one card at a time. I'd like you to take 5 minutes focusing on that first card, the S card, strengths. At the men's retreat, here's what one man put down as strengths of Northridge: grace-based, safe, friendly. You know, there's 75 of you ladies, and we're so excited about that. So you write down, when you think of Northridge, what are the strengths that come to your mind? And then if we could just pause the tape now while you fill out that card. The second card I'd like you to fill out is the O card. Now, some of you are very bright and understand that W is the next one. But I'd like to deal with the positives first. What are the opportunities that we have here at Northridge? With the resources, the staff, the number of people, what are some opportunities we have either to improve in some areas or maybe do some ministries that we're not doing yet? So what are the opportunities? One of the men at the men's retreat wrote this: how about a food pantry, hospital outreach, car clinics? You see, those are opportunities that person saw. So for you, what are the opportunities? We'd like you to take that O card right now and spend 5 minutes just filling that out, thinking hard. What are some opportunities that we have here at Northridge? And they will pause the tape now. The next card I'd like you to take is the W card, the weaknesses. And when we talk about weaknesses, I don't want you to put down things like, well, my mother-in-law goes to Northridge. That's not the kind of weakness we're talking about. But when you think of Northridge and maybe you've encountered some things and you say, you know what, we're just not very strong at that. And I think we should be stronger. What are those areas? One of the men put outreach to neighbors, the lack of excitement about being a member of the kingdom, the lack of commitment to share. That was his view of some weaknesses of Northridge. So I'd like you to take 5 minutes, think hard, be open and honest with us, and share what are the weaknesses that you see at Northridge Community Church. Please pause the tape. And then finally, we want to look at threats. What are threats? Some things that may be coming in the future that we haven't even given a whole lot of thought about, but things that could become disruptive to the church. Are there some threats coming down the road that you might say, hey, is the church ready for these if they came? One of the men at the church, recognizing that there were potentially some high costs of remodeling and doing Dynamite Road. If the church expands, there's going to be huge costs to improve Dynamite that would come to the church. That's a threat. Another one is that the churches, maybe there's political policies. What I'd like you to do is to think hard and think about what threats do you see that might be out there for Northridge. And then when you're done, we'd like the ladies to collect all of these cards, and they'll turn them into me. I'll get them to the Strategic Planning Committee. And I want to thank you so much. Your input is going to be so valuable for us. Hey, you have a great rest of this retreat, and then drive home safe. We'll see you soon.